Hello, hello. I should be live. And just because. Thank you, Jonathan. That's very, very kind of you. Um, I wish it was our farm. That would be super sweet. Although I would want something bigger. Oh, Tanya, you guys are getting super chatty before I even started talking. That's awesome. Just because I'm awesome, you're awesome as well. I think you're all awesome. I think we are all awesome, aren't we? That's kind of the thing. People who think for themselves, they don't follow the narrative. They don't eat bullshit because they're awesome. They have a brain. They think for themselves, and I like that. That's why you guys are awesome, and probably a lot of other reasons as well. So it's time for a Q&A. Questions from you, answers from me, I hope, if I have any. I don't always have all the answers, but I do have some. And sometimes my answers are my opinions. So let's see what's happening. Master Chief, we rarely get more than a few centimeters, and when we do, it's always gone within a week. Same goes for the stuff out there now. Yep. That's, I mean, you know, I'm Swedish. I grew up in Sweden. When I was a kid, it was like, it was always snow in December, almost always, but we could build huge snowmen and they could sit outside my bedroom window for weeks. They would maybe like get deformed a little bit, but it would still be there. And now it's just like bullshit. It's just going away very quickly and that's boring. The only good thing with winter is that we have snow and that just makes everything feel much lighter. I don't like wet, grey, muddy crap like when it's snowing and then melting and it's just like mush everywhere. That's not really my cup of tea. We rarely get more. Oh, but you did that one. Blah. Hello, Miss Pagan. How are you feeling? How much longer do you have to go? Tell me all about it. Maybe not all. That might take 1 hour. And I have a call in an hour, so I need to go on time today. I can't stay and have fun with you. The party is only for 1 hour. And while saying that, I'm going to share the screen. I only have one question from the Facebook group this week, and that's from Jonathan. Let's see if I can put myself there and maybe remove Miss Pagan. Hope you can see that. There's just one question from Jonathan, and he says, have your ideas towards tackling carb cravings changed over the years and from what experience, if any? Since I learned how to do it, it has not changed because that is super effective and it really works. And I cannot see how it wouldn't work for any single person. So that's not changed. And just because it does work for everyone that I'm teaching it to, I don't imagine that my opinion on that is going to work. Will I find something more efficient? I can't imagine it, but I mean, it's possible. And if you have something that really works, let me know. I'm kind of curious. But before that, I was using willpower like most people do, just trying to like, I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it. Push through. I know the craving's gonna go away eventually if I'm not giving in, which of course they never do because that's not how they work, and I know that now. So like since I like for the last 5 years or something like that, I have not changed my my ideas about what's actually efficient or what one should be doing if one wants to stop eating the sugar or the carbs, if you like. Right, so that was that one. So let's stop sharing that. Thanks, Jonathan, for asking that. Let's see where we are. Miss Paprika, she's here. She says hello. Very good to see you. Steak and eggs. We're not singing on this podcast. You don't even like singing, Jonathan. You're just doing that to wind me up. Oh, I'm due to pop in March. Ooh, okay. Well, you have some more heaviness to look forward to. Oh my god. Damn, Jonathan, back at it again will be with the great questions. Yes. Hello, Sophie. I haven't seen you in a little bit. Your eyes look amazing on that picture. Are they actually? I can't even remember, but maybe it's the color of your shirt that just makes them shine. Now everyone's going to look at your picture. Right, do you have any questions for me, or are we just here to chat today? Nothing like a carb holiday to remind me why I went carnivore. After a stiff drink or two, a bunch of tarts and shortbreads yesterday, I suffered heartburn all night. Oh no. Why did you do that? Is it a cat? I can understand, but you know what? I feel so amazing. I feel like I'm bulletproof. I have the New Year's ice cream in the freezer. I got it, and I'm like, I'm looking at it. My brain says this should be really, really nice. I think it's like butterscotch pecan ice cream. I'm like, I've never had that before, but it just sounds like an awesome thing to eat. And I have no cravings for it. And it's just sitting there, and I don't have a problem with it, which is really nice. I never understood how people could have things in the house and not touch them, and I'm like not bothered. I haven't even once thought about that ice cream since I got it, maybe 4 days ago. In terms of, oh, I can't wait to eat that. Not a single time. So it's possible to go from just being like, unable to stay away from the freezer to just not being bothered. So I just want to tell you that. And that feels really pretty fucking good, actually. Woke up at 2 a.m., was feeling joint aches and pains I haven't felt in 5 years. Well, no wonder. That's so what are we doing about that? Just stop eating it? Don't do it again? Did you learn the lesson? Did your brain connect the two events? Because that's the danger when we don't have like an immediate punishment right after we eat it. The brain is going to just get the dopamine and it's going to feel all good, even though your rational part of the brain knows that this is what is causing the pain. It doesn't enter the reptilian brain. Like it doesn't connect them. It starts doing that if you do it over and over again. But the problem is like if you do it over and over again, you're going to get less of a response every time because your body is just going to be inflamed like all the time. So you're not going to feel it as such a big difference in how you feel. It's going to be less of a shift from your normal self. Bro, I'm already waddling around the homestead. I can imagine. I'm not jealous. I wouldn't like to be that big. Well, yes, I can see your message before. Zoo. Test test. Yes, Pim knows my tactics. Yes. You're a troublemaker, Jonathan. Right. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in March 2020. HbA1c 11.7 brought it down to 4.6. Wow. August 2022 through keto and then started zero carb carnivore. That's freaking awesome. I mean, do you still clinically have type 2 diabetes or is it gone? Hang on. There's more here. My C-peptide is still on the higher side. Any suggestions? Okay. I ate fat, tallow ghee, butter with every bite of protein, but blood glucose spikes 25 to 35 milligrams per deciliter. So what's your baseline? Let's see, there's one more. And stays elevated for 13 to 14 hours and goes to 80s 24 hours after last meal. Okay. So 80s is a really good one. So there's still some insulin resistance there, obviously, which means that you're producing too much insulin, which your C-peptide says that you're doing, and it stays elevated. So if you are looking at the five, I think it's 5 phases or something, when you're doing a craft test, you can look at the different phases to see how far you've gone. It's like this will obviously be detected if you have elevated insulin. So from 80s, you said, so it would be at 110 on average after you have eaten. Let's see, da, 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 da. It spikes to 110. So when you say that it's elevated for 13 to 14 hours, what is your blood glucose number for those 13 to 14 hours? Is it around 110 2 hours after and then it goes down slightly, or what's the deal there? Right? Because this obviously with your A1C at 4.6, you're never going very high, so you don't actually cause a lot of damage with it. This just tells you that your body still has healing to do and you just need to keep doing what you're doing. I think, and just wait, because sometimes it takes a while for the body to get that we need to do this. So I wouldn't worry too much about it, because obviously you're not making any more damage to your body with the way that you're eating, even if you have elevated blood sugar. Let's see. I'm just gonna hop around and see whatever you said here. Now reduced proteins and fat to around 30 grams of proteins and 30 grams of fat. Is that per meal or per day? Because if it's per day, you need to eat more protein. That's not going to be enough long term. How to lower C-peptide numbers. Just keep doing what you're doing. Okay, so it stays elevated around 110. So that's interesting, because your A1C is still really low, but 110, sure, it's not, maybe not ideal, but it's not super high. So you might want to try to like see what longer term fasting does for you if you're into fasting. Like try just a 3 day and see what happens. Sometimes the body just needs a little bit of a push to actually do something about it. But my gut feeling says that if you continue eating the way that you're eating right now and you have some patience, it's probably going to be reversed with time. Sometimes things just take time. It's taking you many, many years to actually get to this stage. So have patience, my friend. It will happen, I'm pretty sure. I'm ready for holiday to be over and get this junk out of my house. Oh, do you need to have a lot of junk in the house anyway? And even if you do, you don't have to eat it. It's like with my bloody ice cream, I don't have to eat it, but it's part of my challenge for myself. So I am going to eat it. And I'm struggling to get my brain on board with it. It's like it feels unnecessary. It's not even that I'm scared of eating it, because I'm pretty sure I'll get some cravings after that. So that's going to make it a little bit harder for me, but that's fine. I can handle cravings. It's just that, I'm going to eat ice cream, and that's probably not going to be ideal for my body. That's kind of where my thinking is right now. But I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah, it was the cat. I'm over it now, but it's giving me new purpose. Oh, poor little wee catty. Yeah, it's always good with new purpose. If it helps you to stay on track, use it. What did Before Sue ask? Did I miss something? What the hell? I cannot see anything. I can see hi all from Before Sue, and then I can see, can anybody see this message test? And then I don't have anything until after this one. So she's answering something. I asked my hubby about the video regarding what farmers eat back then. Search for the channel Modern History TV and what the peasants eat in the medieval times. What did they eat in the medieval times? Bullshit, probably. But not the kind of bullshit that we have nowadays. Okay, thanks. Thought I was shadow banned by YouTube because I couldn't see any of my questions in Bart's 30k stream on the replay, so was curious. Yeah, well, I can't help you there because I don't know. I don't know what YouTube is doing. I wish there was a different alternative, a good one, but there really isn't. What are you saying, Jonathan? Your algorithm isn't in your favor. Your channel has like grown so quickly. I know you've been out and about and around and got on interviews here and there, but it's really good. Interesting. Okay, so I didn't know this. Same happened to me. You can check yourself in your message got through. Click the three dots next to your text. No menu equals shadow band. Okay. I think Jonathan is trolling today. How to build huge triceps. Like, you're the bodybuilder here. I don't think you're actually asking me. So get back. I had an episode tonight. Sophie's carnivore protein cake recipe spiked my cravings, and I ate 2 protein bars. Ah, well. Yeah, that's the danger with keto treats of any kind. Like they just taste too nice, or Not even that for me. Like there are very few keto treats that I feel like, oh my God, that's really nice because it's never the real deal. It's never sugar. It never tastes that good. But still, there's some sweet there, and that just tells my brain like we want more. We want all of that. So then the cravings are just like, hey, we're here, and we're gonna have a party. We're gonna stay up all night and pester you. Right. The positive I took from that was it cemented in my mind that my symptoms are directly connected to carb abuse and not old age, as my doctor kept telling me. Yeah. I don't. Did you really believe your doctor? I think if none of us actually abused our bodies throughout our lives, I think we could actually stay really like our bodies could stay really healthy and flexible and strong for many, many years. I mean, there would probably be some decline because, I mean, we do age. We can't prevent that from happening. But like someone who's 90 can still have a really good life and really good muscle mass and be really flexible and have very low amounts of inflammation. They don't need to have all the aches and pains. Just did blood work since gone carnivore from vegan. Ooh. My A1C jumped from 4.2 to 5. My cholesterol was 198, now I have 405. My triglyceride was 32, now 62 doing carnivore from August. Okay. I wouldn't worry too much about that. Are you eating a lot of protein is my question. Then that could explain the A1C. Cholesterol I would not worry about at all. I don't think triglycerides are your triglycerides are especially high, so that's probably not a bad thing. Um, let's see. Indeed, 14 watching, 8 likes. Come on, people. 16 watching now. I can't see the likes from this window, but if we don't have 16 likes, I think you should be liking the stream. Otherwise, you might get a very high A1C, and we don't want that. Um, okay, you heard all day. Yeah, Jim, not good, not good. With bots Q&A, I always have to ask myself, was my message removed or wasn't it worth being asked? So I believed it was just a crap question, but since I didn't even see it in the replay, it was sus. Yeah, so I will tell you when I'm there and I'm managing the questions, if you do put a Q in front of it, I don't ever skip them, like even when it's just a comment, because positive reinforcement. If you put a Q there, I will read it, it will be on the screen. So if I'm not reading it and not putting it on the screen when there is a Q there, it probably hasn't come through. Yeah. You have to expect it. You're just getting old. Same reply when taking statins. Stop going to him. Yeah. They will keep saying that because honestly, if you look at society as society is now, it is the normal. It's normal to get aches and pains, get slow, stiff joints, more medications, all of that. It's normal to get more of that when you are getting older. But I think we live in an abnormal society. If you look over time, this is not how it's looked, and we don't like it, or I don't like it anyway. Um, oh, okay. You talked about peasant foods in my live coaching on Friday. I saw that you were talking about stuff, but I didn't have time to read because I was busy listening to Jared. And if I start reading the chat, I don't really hear what he says. So I'm trying to like not do that. That's why I'm here today. Let's do it on Wednesdays or your Tuesdays. I stated that peasants ate grains and kings ate meat last week. Probably recalled it was the other way around. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But if you say so. And I guess that depends on when in history as well. I had that problem about Q&A before where none of my questions were coming through. Yeah. We cannot thank you about enough for what you both are working very hard to educate people. Yes, thank you. We're trying. I mean, I'm not I have always been interested in nutrition, hence my degree in nutrition. But really, what I've realized over time is that no matter how much knowledge I have, that has never ever helped me to get rid of my carb addiction. So what's really interesting to me now is just like how I can uplevel my life by just changing my mind. So that's what kind of puts me on fire. So if we can just spread the message that for anyone who's on a carnivore diet, because we always, if you go and search on YouTube, like I think this, I understand why people are posting it, but I think it is a problem as well. So if you go and search like um, no more sugar cravings, whatever, carnivore cures sugar cravings, you're gonna find so many videos like, oh, I started carnivore and I cured my carb addiction. And that's not what's happening. It's like some people, they only have, or the main reason why they have craving might be, there might be something with the gut bacteria, but it could be like the food. When you're playing around with that, you're gonna get high glucose levels and a lot of insulin, and your glucose is going to be all over the place. And that is going to create cravings for any person, whether you're addicted to carbs or not. Okay. So when you start a carnivore diet, that's gonna go away very quickly. And if you no longer have any cravings, you're not addicted to carbs, in my opinion. It was just a hormonal response that you actually responded to. For those of us who can go on a carnivore diet and we still have a lot of cravings, we are the addicts. And especially some people go on a carnivore diet and they feel good for a while and then something happens and they fall off again. I wouldn't necessarily say that they are addicts, but they are probably emotional eaters. Right. So there's several reasons for why you could want to do it again. But when you go and like search on YouTube and it's like, yeah, I ate it and I cured my carb addiction. This is really the shit. This is what's gonna solve it for you. And then you try it and it doesn't work. That's really like, disempowering. And I think that's a problem because a lot of people just get really down about it. When you think that this is the solution and this is my last hope, and then, oh, that didn't work either. What do you do then? You get depressed. So I just want to spread the message that that's not the case. There are a lot of us who it doesn't work for. And it's nothing that is like, there's nothing wrong with you guys or me. We just have really efficient brains and they work in a certain way, the same way as other people, but we have different preferences. And maybe they're more efficient than other brains. And that's why we want to stay like addicted to the carbs and keep eating them. Um, my channel is still a newbie. I feel like a baby compared to the real carnivore OGs, Pim and Professor Bard. It's not a baby. You're like pushing out the material. I'm doing one podcast every week and then I'm here twice live because the live doesn't really, I don't have to prepare for it. I just show up and do my thing. But the other one takes me a few hours actually to prepare it and make sure that it's uploaded and all of that. So I couldn't do more than one a week without putting unnecessary pressure on myself. So in December I have spent a lot of time preparing. So I actually have, I'm 4 weeks ahead now. So I can relax in January. I don't have to eat it, but homemade traditional gingerbread cookies I get once a year. I have been cutting out all the unnecessary junk I was eating a lot of. Prego cravings are next level. Well, I can't say that I've ever experienced them, so I don't really know. But Jesus, gingerbread. Gingerbreads are nice, but you could eat like, I put gingerbread spices in Greek yogurt, which is quite nice. Obviously, it doesn't have the crunch, etc., but you still get that flavor, which is super cool. She will train us all yet. Yes, I'm trying to, but you have to practice. I can't do that for you. How do you prepare your weekly sweet potato? Throwing in a pot of water like normal potatoes. It's funny. I haven't had a sweet potato in 2 weeks, and I had slight headaches, but I was like, I wasn't convinced that it was actually a carb headache because carb headaches are like they are always here, like on top of my head, which is really, really strange. I say carb, but no carb headaches or whatever. And I had like side ones, so I was like, this is not it, and it wasn't it. So I was glad that I didn't have one. But how I do, I actually roast them. I used to fry them, but you have to fry them for a long time. It takes forever. It was a pain in the ass. So I put the oven on. You do Celsius, don't you? 200 degrees, depending on the size, but roughly an hour. And then I just eat them. Oh my god, great old school recipe. Every carnivore should try. Fry a whole chicken in butter. Fry it. You may need a cow to afford the butter for that, though. Yeah. Are you like deep frying a chicken in butter? That would be freaking awesome. When I get my farm and we have huge barbecues, maybe I should do that. Like today we're gonna have deep fried chicken just in butter. Oh, fuck, that would be funny. A crap, those chats are cursed. Yes, but I can see that. So clearly we can post here now anyway. Hi Pim, hi lovely people. Hi Adek. Good to see you. I am off sugar since 3 years, off coffee, tea since 3 years. That is amazing. Yeah, you just need to have patience, more patience. Have you seen any difference in your C-peptide and the the elevation, like how long your blood sugar stays elevated versus like, and also how high it is when it stays elevated? If you see any progress in that, that's good news, even if it's super slow. Like even if you don't see anything from this month to next month, if it's 6 months and you still see like a little blip, good. I'll take that. It's not always an easy fix. I air fry one whole chicken once a week, then one bite of chicken with one bite of butter. My only omelette I currently do. That almost sounds good. I find chicken very, very dry, but with a lot of butter it might work. Maybe like a butter soup with chicken. That's funny. Hi Adek, may I ask if your nick is based on fat soluble vitamins A, D, E, K? Found it interesting that it matched up. How did your nutrition training square with your current views? Did you have any problem accepting some of the currently accepted views? Um, when I studied nutrition, I actually didn't have the views I have now. I was sort of naive. I was very interested in like a keto diet, mainly because one of my course mates actually was really into it and believed hardcore that keto was a thing. And I was like, maybe I shall try it. And I did try it and I was like, this is awesome. I like it. Um, it wasn't actually until after I graduated that I started really doing research on keto. So towards the end of my degree, I was more interested because we could choose between public health nutrition and molecular nutrition, and I chose molecular nutrition because I like knowing how things work. I'm not interested in going out and just spreading the message, because you can open any fitness magazine or whatever and they will just tell you exactly what we learned in the program, to be honest, just maybe slightly less in depth, but it's the same freaking thing. And I already knew all of that, and I knew that all of that did not work because I was at the time working at the gym as a personal trainer and nutrition advisor, and I told people this is how you should be eating, these are the macros that you should be having, and they did not have the results that you would expect from counting the calories. So I knew that something wasn't really working, but I didn't know what it was. So that's why I was interested in the molecular nutrition path, because I wanted to find out like what is the biochemistry behind it and why isn't it working for everyone. I mean, for some people it does work, but it didn't seem to work for everyone. So I don't think it was until pretty much right after I graduated that I started doing my own research and actually found what I now believe. So I was interested in the keto during my training, but I was too busy just doing like coursework and stuff to actually have time to sit and do all the research because I was also working as a personal trainer and that sort of thing. So I was at uni and I was working, and obviously there weren't many hours left on the day each day, so I didn't do that then. Um, so I didn't have. I did have a lot of frustration around what they were teaching us because I felt like I was being cheated on my education because I was there to learn something new, and I felt like I already know all of this. They just forced me to learn details that are completely unnecessary. Like here are the vitamins and all the symptoms if you don't get enough, and here's what can happen if you eat too much. And you just had to do that for all the freaking vitamins and minerals and stuff. And that's extremely freaking boring to learn. I'll tell you that. And it's something like my brain just tells me that that is not necessary because it's easy to just look up. But sure, I agree. It could be good to have an idea, but I've forgotten most of that. That was so many years ago now. Um, so yeah, I look forward to your content in January, Pim. Can't wait. You're welcome. And I might have something more going on in January, not from the first week, but from the second. I have found a guy who would be willing to edit my videos for about $30 per video, and that might be affordable, but depends a little bit. And that's really cheap. So we'll see what he can do. So maybe my video quality will go up as well, and it will be more interesting to watch it. So I'm really curious what he's doing. So he's working on the one that will be released on the 9th of January right now. So when that comes back, I'll see if it's something that I like or not. So he had some opinions. He sent me a message saying, I shouldn't tell. He said, I can't remember his exact words, but he said, "Oh, your intro was awful. I've redone it." So I was like, "Okay, let's redo it." I like honesty, so go for it. It's funny because this SBG team did not even realize that until recently, but I'm always here for you with a daily dose of a deck. Good. Yeah, she's ate so much butter, that's her name. I'm running out of time to get on the SBG a deck. Man, all my age gets busy. Of your age sounds like you're super old. I don't know if that has anything to do with age, but whatever. Mm-mm. Don't compare yourself with others, but only with yourself of yesterday. When your subs views are growing, that's great and the right way. I mean, seriously, Jonathan's channel has gone from like, what was it when you were on my channel? Like 50 or something, and now what are you? Probably close to 2,000, if I'm guessing, or at least higher 1,000s. So yeah, I'm just on 3,600 after several years. So it's not going to take you long to bypass me. So just like wave to me when you pass by, because that would be cool. uh, Jeez. What the hell? Chicken in butter sounds amazing. I replaced my Instant Pot water with 2 sticks of melted butter, bone marrow, and oxtails are divine. Holy shit. You know, I tried to eat high, like this 1 stick of butter a day, and I lasted about 4 days. I ate between 100 and 150 grams, probably like going down from 150 each day. My body now tells me that butter does not taste nice anymore. It's just like, nope, we had enough of that. I don't like it. So that's probably my body saying we have enough of fat. We don't want any more of that. So I can't eat that much right now. I think I eat quite a lot of fat anyway, but not a whole stick per day. So my little experiment there to see if butter had any specific effect has failed. Other than actually gaining me 1.5 kilo. That's what it did in like 5 days or something. I'm like, okay, now I'm just a fat butter stick. Had to argue with doctor for C-peptide a couple of months back. It was 4.9, not done before. Yeah, it's no point arguing with them. Just take the data and go out and do your thing with your own data. It's yours. I know, Paprika, I just have one of those personalities where I'm never satisfied until I am the go-to authority for physique recomposition in the carnivore community. I have failed. Well, you don't have a lot of competition, so why wouldn't you be? And you're everywhere. I think you're doing like everything you should be doing. Just keep doing it. I mean, you have a lot of clients now, don't you? Just goes to show that there is a need for what you're doing, so just keep doing it. Here's a question. My opinion on raw meat eggs, too risky concerning Salmonella, E. coli, or should a 1+ year carnivore have a low enough stomach pH to fight off those problems? I mean, there shouldn't be any Salmonella or E. coli in these foods. Yeah, raw eggs are maybe a little bit more risky than raw meat. Um, it's just my personal opinion. Like, I eat raw meat every now and then, no problem. I don't eat raw eggs because I think it's slimy and I don't like it. But I do put raw eggs into my egg coffee, so I suspect. I mean, I'm pouring boiling water on it, but when there are a lot of eggs in there, and especially if I add cold butter, the temperature is not going to be super high. So if there was salmonella or E. coli in my eggs, I think I would probably have got sick by now. And I have been doing this for many years. Like, I don't even know how many years. 6, 7, whatever. I've never got sick from eating it. Bart tried to tell me that I can't remember what it was. It was not E. coli and it was not salmonella. His mom had told him that the egg supply in New Zealand was contaminated with some other bacteria, and that coincided when he couldn't tolerate the egg coffee anymore without getting like really bad stomach pains. And every time he has raw eggs, actually, speaking of which, I have done like milkshakes in the past where I put a couple of raw eggs in as well. So just cream and raw eggs and maybe some frozen berries or something like that. Never had a problem with it, but he can't handle any of that. So he tried to tell me that it was the bacteria from the eggs, and that was probably the problem. I was like, if there were bacteria in the eggs, I would probably be sick as well, because why wouldn't I be? But no, he just doesn't seem to tolerate raw eggs very well. And he thinks that when he was a kid, he didn't tolerate eggs very well, so he might just be more sensitive to eggs in general. So I don't think it had anything to do with bacteria. Um, your stomach pH would probably change a little bit if you are eating a lot of meat. Depending on how healthy you were before that, our stomach pH is supposed to be quite low, but for some people who are just like eating constantly and you're just diluting it with everything and you're drinking lots of sodas and blah blah blah, obviously that pH is not going to be as low because it's diluted. But if you don't do all of that, you're probably going to have a good pH already. So it probably won't change a lot, but it could. I know yours pin, but I wouldn't have. I would have zero concern. More likely to get someone out from lettuce. Well, yeah, that's a good point. I wouldn't call 1740 people a fail. No, that's a big party in the living room. Yeah, I'd rather not have that party. I forgot to mention, once you've joined the SBG gang, whether you are in the challenge or not, you're a free member for always. I didn't know that. Hooray! That's cool. Um. Oh, Jonathan, can I coach you? just sympathy subscribers for the rambling autistic carnivore bodybuilder. I do appreciate every single like and subscription, though. I smile every time the number goes up. Jonathan, it doesn't matter. There are 1,740 people there. How many do you need to actually be successful? Like, and the more people you have there, whether they are there to, if it's sympathy, I don't think it is sympathy because I never join someone that I think is crap, even out of sympathy. They need to have something that I actually think is good. Um, come on, man, stop it. I'm not gonna go on a rant. I'm not sure what this is. You answer to him. Anyhow, I'll move on to the next one. Here's a cue. My latest fasting insulin, 55 millimoles per liter. C-peptide, 694 picomole. Are these good, poor? Okay, I don't know. I don't have the numbers for what your C-peptide should be. I'm sorry. I can't answer that without actually going and Google what the normal range is and having some theories. If you're going to be low carb, my opinion is that it doesn't really matter. Why would it matter? Because you're doing everything. If you're low carb or like zero carb or whatever you are, if you're doing everything that you can to be healthy, you're already doing everything that you can. Like, this is not relevant anymore. Like fasting insulin, yes, it might be elevated, but unless it's like completely out of range or whatever, but it wouldn't necessarily be completely out of range on a zero carb diet because there's no need for that much insulin to be there. I prefer your rambles, Pim. No edits, no cuts, just pure rambling within an inconcise 20-minute video, please. Oh, well, we'll see. I thought, we'll see what happens. If I don't like what he's doing, I might look for someone else or whatever. I can still be rambling. I can just tell him to not cut it out. I just asked him to add some, like pictures or other interesting things and maybe some captions and that sort of thing. Not too complicated, just kind of clean, but a little bit more interesting. There seems to be a difference between a craving triggered by temptation and the thought of eating sugar to get rid of a physical feeling, like being tired or sick. Are they treated the same? Okay, let me read the question again. A craving triggered by temptation and a thought of eating sugar to get rid of a physical feeling. No, they are treated the same. So when you have a craving that is triggered by temptation, so let's say someone is eating cake in front of you or whatever, you're going to think something, you're going to have a thought that, oh, I really want to eat this cake. And when you are thinking that, you're going to get that feeling in your body, which is a craving, right? But if you are like, you're feeling sick, tired or sick, it's not necessarily going to come from a thought like, oh, poor me, because I'm sick, but it could. I'm just saying that sometimes it does. It's like, oh, I'm sick. So we're just justifying everything. Oh, I'm sick. So of course I'm going to have ice cream. Ice cream is good for sick people or whatever. It might be the same, but let's say if you're tired, I'm never having cravings when I'm tired because I'm thinking like, oh, poor me, I'm tired. I'm actually having cravings because my body probably is tired and feels like there isn't enough energy and we need more energy, and it connects it with carbohydrates. So it's going to tell me to go and eat. You can still like treat them the same way because what you're trying to avoid is feeling the craving. You are going to eat as a response to feeling the craving. And that step is always going to be there. So you will still treat it the same way. Yeah. I can't wait for Pim's guest speaker appearance in the SBG gang. SB gang. I can't even read. Later on today. Good. That's in many hours though. First, after this, I have a call with my group, which I freaking love because they're awesome. And then I'm going to have to go into town to pick up Bart, who has taken our van in for some repairs, and go for a walk. And then I come back, and then it's SBG time. And it's in late afternoon for me and in the middle of the night for Adek, so I don't even know why she's coming there because she should be sleeping. It's important with sleep, but nonetheless, I appreciate you and it's nice that you want to be there. I'll remember you when I leave you in the distant haze of my tracks, Pim. Good. Yeah. And you shall have me back on your channel and say, everyone, go and subscribe to Pim's channel because I'm now a big fuck here and I just have all the subs in the world. Good. I mean, others post the message to eat meat. You say, don't eat carbs. Too many carb addicts. It is kind of challenge to carb addicts. Seeing it is their responsibility. Yes. I don't think it's a problem. I mean, people know that they can always choose, I think, but they also think that they are unable to choose. And they think that the cravings are the problem. And when we have a craving, we just have to eat as a response. At least that's what what my brain was telling me. Like, you have a craving, that means that you need to eat that thing or something. As if this is an unrivaled truth. Like, if you have a craving, you need to eat it. It's your body telling you how to eat. Like, listen to your body. Our bodies are lying sometimes, especially when it comes to carbs. They're very confused. If you're eating a lot of carbs and you have blood sugar issues, for example, your body, you can't rely on your body telling you when you're hungry and what to do. If you're only eating protein and fats and very little carbs, you're going to be able to start tuning into your body and actually trust it when it tells you that you're hungry, etc. Another thing with being addicted to carbs is just feeling like no one understands what you're going through. Like, oh, well, it's easy for you to say because you don't eat carbs. And I hope that if anyone is watching this and they have this problem, that you realize that I have had this problem and I'm so freaking happy that I don't anymore. But it is completely doable to get out of it. And don't think for a second I don't understand what you're going through, because I do. And you're going to be like, oh, well, but you're special in some way. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm just as obsessed as everyone else. I have clients who do a lot better than me, a lot quicker than I did. So in the beginning, when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I'm a fraud. There's something wrong with me. Why did it take me so long? And why am I still blah, blah, blah? Like all of this. Just like Jonathan with his channel. Oh my God, they're just sympathy subscribers. Like, we brains like to make up all of this bullshit to kind of like put us down. So don't do that to yourself. Oh, thank you, Before Zoo. Thanks for your knowledge and time. You're more than welcome. I always enjoy being here with you guys. It's fun. But my group is even more fun. You're gonna be like, okay, we'll leave then. Okay. So that's about leaving with the van, and now Puffy thinks that she should growl at someone driving on the driveway. Okay, a deck. Here we go. It doesn't have to be butter. We say a stick of butter because it's convenient. Yeah, most people actually do better with other animal fats. Same. Yeah, I know that. I just wanted to do the experiment with butter to see, because 80% fat didn't really do a difference for me. But I wanted to see if butter fat somehow were different, because the composition is different, and maybe it had to do with like gut bacteria or something, and if that would be better for me. I just couldn't do it. I might try it again, because also at the same time, this has never happened ever in my life, I think. I had to have salted butter because plain butter, it was just a bit yucky. It was just fatty and oily in my mouth. But that also changed, and I was like, oh my God, this is way too salty all of a sudden. Don't know what that's about. I can have a small piece of butter now, and that's fine. If I take a second one, I'm like, oh my God, that's too salty, which is really weird because I eat so much salt that that shouldn't be a problem. Yes, I should coach Jonathan. That would be great for your numbers. Yeah. I would take advice from anyone more expert in a subject than me. I have no ego in that regard. That is kind of very intelligent of you. That's how you grow and how you learn things. Is C-peptide better than fasting insulin? Better, I don't know. I mean, fasting insulin is the problem with either of them, to be fair, is that they break down very quickly. Like fasting insulin, you just like getting a snapshot in time. And I think C-peptide lives a little bit longer, but not a lot. So you never know what is happening in a given moment. Or you do know what happens in a given moment, but not in over like a period of one day. If you happen to take that test when you have had like a burst of insulin being released all of a sudden, then you're going to get a high fasting insulin level. But that all that means is that you had a burst of insulin right in that moment, but it might not be elevated. So unless you're actually being, I mean, I like lab tests because I'm curious and I find it interesting, but I do take it all of it with a grain of salt because we never know. It's just like you take one picture, and I always look extremely stupid on pictures. So I always manage to catch myself in the wrong moment, or I just look stupid. I don't think I look as stupid on camera when I'm actually a live person. But on pictures, it's always like you do something weird and you just look strange. So you never know what you're gonna get when you do a lab test. It might just be that moment. Like you have no idea what's happening. So unless you're actually having a condition that you're trying to fix, maybe it's not that useful, especially if you're already feeling good. So yes, yeah. So C peptide would be better because it's a bit more stable. It lives a bit longer, but that's it. Does quitting carbs influence eyesight quality, resp, like respectively, or respiratory? Let's say respectively. How much impact could it have compared to meat fat healing effects? Is it more the lack of oxalate by carb food that could improve sight? Not necessarily. I mean, if you're eating a high carb diet, you might have a lot of glycation on like the optic nerve and all of that, so that could make your eyesight worse. And if you then manage to remove that, then it could actually reverse. So that could just be it, that you just have too much sugar in your blood normally, and all of a sudden you don't, and it's going to improve. It could be oxalates, sure. Of course, I'm going to be there. I love supporting you. Love you, Dick. Never fails. Someone calls me during the live stream. Maybe you just have too many friends. Ah, I almost forgot the Zoom call. Good thing I reminded you then. Heard about read that too, but I wonder if it's because of getting rid lack of oxygen. Yeah, okay, yeah, both. Yep. My message wasn't well formed. I believe people telling you eat meat is healthy has a positive connotation because meat's good. Don't eat carbs has a negative one, so it's harder to accept, I believe. Mm, yeah, but people also say don't eat meat, and a lot of people don't eat meat. So they have clearly accepted that message and they being vegan or whatever. I think it has more to do with the mass hypnosis that is going on. Like, no matter where you're looking, if you are looking at anything in any magazine, any TV show, anything like that, you're going to find that, yeah, there are healthy carbs. You should be eating the healthy carbs. Sugar is not good, but healthy carbs are good. Healthy carbs, healthy carbs. So when someone says don't eat carbs, you're going to be like, well, but healthy carbs are good. Like your brain has already been preconditioned to believe that thought. Whether you believed it in the first place or not, you heard it so many times that it will just come up automatically. You don't even have to think it on purpose, it's just going to come up. And I think that's why it's hard for people to accept, because now you've been thinking it so many times that it's just a belief that you have, but you haven't really thought about why it's a belief. It's a belief because someone has told you this a billion times. Pim is looking exceptionally beautiful today. Am I? Well, thank you. I feel like I'm super tired, like my eyes are just like, ugh. The previous 2 days, I've woken up at 4:30 AM. The first day I had a nap, but not yesterday. And but I had like an insane amount of deep sleep over like 2 hours each night, so I clearly got enough deep sleep. And then last night, I think I slept almost 8 hours, and that's very unusual. My average probably about 6.5. And I didn't even have an hour of deep sleep, so I feel like I'm super tired. I'm more tired now than I was yesterday when I slept maybe 4.5, 5 hours, which is funny. So maybe I should do that more often. Right. I agree to have a positive message, but with eat meat, some people think that they can have carbs as well. Yeah, I think this is a real trap. Like, not just eat meat, but like we're talking about carnivore and keto and almost always emphasize fat. Some people emphasize the protein, but we do that, and then we have some carbs as well, and that's cheating, and then we have the Randall cycle. So that's pretty much like the disaster recipe. That's how you gain weight and not getting the results that you want if you actually combine the two. So if you're going to have carbs as well, you probably should not be high fat. Just want to point that out. How do I feel about my current business, and what is your modus operandi for the year of 2023? I feel fucking awesome about it because I've started my first group and they are having such good insights and such good results already. We're 3 weeks in with that group. And I don't want to say that, I mean, it feels almost like they're doing better than my one on one clients. And I think that is because they are studying at their own pace. We're still doing coaching and they are taking more responsibility than my one-on-one clients do straight away. They're like, okay, I'm here, I have 12 weeks, I'm going to do this. They're motivated and they just have like lots of revelations about what's actually happening and how this impacts their lives in so many more areas than just the cravings. And I'm super excited about this. So actually want to grow my group. I'm not going to stop doing one-to-one coaching, but I am going to increase my prices because I want people to go through the group if that is possible. I think from what I'm seeing is like I'm getting super excited because I see them growing so much and I'm thinking like 12 weeks is not going to be a problem for them. Like it's going to be such an amazing journey. So I'm going to focus all on growing the group and getting more people into the group. And I also promised that by the time this first group finishes, I'm going to probably have some sort of very cheap membership where they can remain and we can just do some more coaching on different aspects of their lives and just to keep getting the support and being part of the community. And that's one of the things that I really like about my community in general. It's like there's absolutely zero freaking judgment and everyone is so supportive and it's amazing. So if you're not in there, don't envy them. You should be in there because it's amazing. All right, I have 2 minutes and then I need to be on the other call. So I'm going to scroll through this quickly. Um, blah, blah, blah. Hello, hello. Is it possible to advise on alcohol dependence? Well, yes, but I have to go. But it's the same thing, like alcohol or carbs, it doesn't really matter. We treat it the same way. So it's just you having a special, like, what's it called? A habit loop, like a neural pathway in your brain for how you react when you have cravings for alcohol. And then you just go and watch my videos, take whatever you want and apply it to alcohol rather than carbs. It's the same thing. We treat it the same way. My boss at work went keto to lose bloated stomach. Once he reached his goal, he went on sad again. And 1 month later, he got this bloated belly back. Surprise! Yeah, that's the stupid thing. All right. I want in the group. Well, go to pimjohnson.com/group and you can get in there. Yay! Thanks, Jonathan. That's awesome. Bye, Pim. Bye, everyone. This was fun. Yes, absolutely. So I'll be back next week or in 3 days, coaching Jared again. We will be here, even though it's Christmas almost. So you take care, and I will see you then. Bye.